And the Russian side of this conflict is said to be getting help from a white supremacist terrorist organization. It's called the Russian Imperial Movement, which is now being linked to attacks against pro-Ukrainian targets in Europe. Scripps News senior national investigative correspondent Mark Greenblatt scored a rare exclusive interview with the leader of that Russian organization back in 2021. He's been tracking these guys for a long time. Mark, who exactly are they targeting?
Well, good evening, Chance. What they're doing is that they're targeting high-level targets in Europe now, and these extremists are really going after any governments that are funding or arming Ukraine. And what terrorism experts are telling us is that the longer this war stretches on, the more of these attacks we may see. Intelligence expert Colin Clarke says nearly 1 year into the war in Ukraine, as Russia's campaign stalls, it's turning now to white supremacists and neo-Nazis to launch a new terror campaign across Europe, targeting allies and supporters of Ukraine. Now, Clarke says a recent letter bomb campaign, including against the U.S. Embassy in Spain, has been credibly linked back to Russia and its proxies.
Once the U.S. Embassy in Madrid was attacked, it allowed the U.S. intelligence community greater authorities to collect on what exactly was happening. Although the letter bombing campaign failed to kill anyone, it did injure several people. And more than that, I think symbolically, it's proof of concept to show what the Russians can do through proxy forces to destabilize European countries at will.
Clarke says investigators have zeroed in on the Russian Imperial Movement, known as RIM. It's the only white supremacist organization the State Department designated as terrorists, and now it's being linked to the letter bombs. Scripps News has been reporting on the shadowy extremist organization for years. In 2021, before Russia invaded Ukraine, RIM's leader told me in an exclusive interview that his group continued to operate a paramilitary training camp from St. Petersburg, Russia, that provided weapons and explosives training to anyone who wanted to learn, including known extremists. How much would it cost me to go through your training today?
У нас небольшие цены.
In our case, it is $500.
What would I learn if I came?
Вас научат умению стрелять.
You will learn how to shoot using a firearm. You will go to the shooting range to undergo firearm training. Medical training is also part of the course, as well as tactical training.
U.S. officials designated Stanislav Vorobiev by name as a terrorist, separate from his group. When he and I spoke, Vorobiev confirmed that RIM had sympathizers in Spain and was having success making friends in other parts of the world too, including the U.S.
We are currently in the process of gathering like-minded people throughout the world, including people from Australia, America, and New Zealand.
I'm definitely concerned about what the Russians could do on U.S. soil. We've got long-standing links between our own far-right groups and those that receive propaganda support, and potentially even financial support.
On Telegram, RIM posted photos like this from the front just a few weeks ago. But RIM also denied sending the letter bombs, saying, "Terror is not our style. Our organization is political and does not deal with intelligence or terror." Just last week, RIM called out for a fresh new round of recruits to join its military wing. Now, a State Department official would not comment on RIM or say if RIM had anything to do with those letter bombs, saying that they're going to leave it up to the government of Spain to take the lead on this investigation. The government of Spain, by the way, did make an arrest in this case. What I can tell you is that RIM has been ramping up activities internationally and in Ukraine, and recently they've been posting, busy on Twitter, rather on Telegram, saying things like, "This is our religious war and we will win it." What they mean by that is that unlike the Russian military itself, they actually look like they see themselves as soldiers in a war for the Russian Orthodox Church. And Chance, these guys are quite serious about what they're fighting for.
Mark, could you explain, because a lot of the people attracted to it are not part of the Russian Orthodox Church, I wouldn't think. How is recruitment happening? Because you have this 74-year-old man suspected in the letter bombing. I guess in my mind, I pictured it more of a social media thing rather than a face-to-face relationship, analog era. We need to know what to look out for. How are they recruiting?
Well, the Russian Imperial Movement about 10 years ago started going into Europe. I mean, physically. They started flying to Europe, going to conferences in places like Paris. They even have a very strong contingent in Spain, people that are actually on the ground recruiting, it's thought, to send people back over to St. Petersburg and train at that paramilitary camp. So this is a face-to-face operation that they are intentionally doing in order to find sympathizers on the ground. And sometimes, even if people won't sign up to fight for the Russian Orthodox Church, they can look at the situation and say, look, if the enemy of my enemy is going to be my friend, we can team up and cause some trouble.
Mark Greenblatt, each new iteration really just adds another layer of concern here. Thank you so much. And for a deep dive into what's motivating the Russian Imperial Movement and their adherents, you can hear more of Mark's reporting in a one-hour special airing this week on NPR affiliates nationwide. The show is called Revealed. Scripps News partnered with Reveal on this week's episode, which you can also find by downloading it right now through your favorite podcast app.